Hi Center, I want to show you a continuation of saving to OneDrive and accessing OneDrive from home. I'm showing this because you should no longer be saving documents just to your desktop or folders on your desktop. The power of OneDrive is that it's cloud computing. It's saving your work and documents to the OneDrive cloud. The benefit of this is you can access your work anywhere where you have access to the internet. The disadvantage, of course, is that because you're online, or because the documents are online, you may not always have access to the internet. So what this tutorial will show you is how you can sync your OneDrive documents so that you can work offline with OneDrive. So first, let's go through the process one more time of just how to save a document to your OneDrive. So I have a Word document here, and I'm just going to go to File, Save As, and then remember it's the OneDrive Center School District that you want to be saving to. If I browse at this location, I do need to go in and just select Documents. And then I can save this document just maybe to the root level. Of course, if you want to make a new folder here, you can. Or if you have a folder that you've already developed, then you certainly can save it in that location as well. Okay, so I've just saved my document. I just titled it Research Proposal the exact same way that the document starts out. So let's go ahead and close it. I'm going to access this document by going to the student websites. And once you're here, you'll need to scroll down to OneDrive and then log in as yourself. Here we go. I will say I am making this tutorial outside of the district. So this is the screen, in case you've never logged in from home, that you do need to log into from home with your password. So anyway, that isn't something that you typically do in the district. So now that I'm logged in, I'm going to go to OneDrive. And as soon as this loads, you should see my document that I just saved, along with other folders and trials and tests that I've been doing. But the one thing that I want to show you right here, and this is where the beginning maybe of working offline comes into play, and that's finding the sync button. So to sync your documents so that you have access to them offline, you need to go ahead and click that sync icon, and then we are going to sync up all of your documents. Of course, we want to allow this to happen, and this shouldn't take too long for me because I don't have many documents. So we'll just go ahead and click Sync Now. And what this does is it just syncs everything up. So you can go ahead, let's go ahead and click Show Me My Files. And in the background, I'm just going to go ahead and close out of the internet because at this point, I really want to focus on this particular location. So there's a couple things here. First of all, this view probably looks a little bit more typical like your old U drives, if you remember the U drives from the district. But what this just did is it put a OneDrive folder underneath your favorites whenever you open your Explorer folder. Okay? It's named a little funny, so you can always go to that folder, right-click it, and rename it. And maybe you just want to call it My OneDrive, or something that might make a little bit more sense to you. Now, the other thing we might do while we're here is put a shortcut on the desktop. So again, I can right-click that folder, and now I can go to Send To, and I can make a shortcut on the desktop. This is completely optional. It makes the folder a little bit easier to find, but if you're not someone that likes a lot of stuff and a lot of icons on your desktop, you don't have to do that. Okay, going to close out of that. We just sent this folder of your OneDrive documents onto the desktop so that it's much easier to see. But here's the next thing we're going to do. I'm going to show you now how it is that you can work offline with these documents. So what this means is you don't have to have access to the internet in order to pull up these documents and continue working on them. So here's how this works. I'm first of all going to disconnect my Wi-Fi connection. Okay, so what I've done is I am mimicking what would happen if you are working at home without the internet, or maybe you're at a friend's house and don't have connection to their wireless signal, or having problems with your connection or something like that. So all I'm going to do is open my OneDrive folder just right here from my desktop, open one of my documents in this location that I've already started, and maybe in this particular case I'm going to continue developing a research proposal. What is my role? What can we learn from the past? Who influences? You get the idea here. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this, and then I'm going to close out of it. So let's just say that, this happens after an evening of doing homework or whatever. Notice we get that message down there, and it just went away, that the upload is pending on the next time you have access to the internet. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. I'm going to close out of my OneDrive. And let's say I'm done doing homework for the evening. I come back into the district, and I log back into the district network. So in this case, I'm going to turn my wireless back on. And you can see that it's making its connection there. I quite simply am going to go back into my OneDrive folder. I'm going to open that research proposal back up. And notice here too, it has that green check. That's kind of an indicator that it has been sunk back up. Okay, so because I had access to the internet, it went back through and it resunk everything that I had done from the night before or whatever. Okay, so very handy. I now can access things through my OneDrive folder when I am not connected to the internet. Now the last thing I want to show you is I'm going to turn my wireless back off. Let's say you're at home, you're at a friend's house or whatever, you don't have access to the internet, but you need to develop a new Word document for whatever it is that you're working on. So I'm just going to say, this is my new document from home without internet connection. Okay, very good. So now when I go up, and again, I don't have access to the internet, but when I go to File, Save As, and I try to save it to my OneDrive location, OneDrive recognizes that you aren't connected to it. So you are not going to be able to save to this location. And even if I try to, it's going to say, sorry, there's no internet access. So what you're going to have to do, let me just cancel out of that, because what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to select a location on your computer and then click Browse, and this location should be familiar because right here is your OneDrive. Remember, it came in as a folder underneath your favorites, and so here's where, here's the process that you need to go through. Just going to call this my new document so that you can save it and so that it will be sunk up the following day when you go back to school. So I'm just going to save that to that location. Notice I get that upload pending. Again, I'm going to close out of this document. Let's say I'm back in the district. I've logged back in. My wireless signal is strong. And now when I go to my, or you know what, let's even go just, or that's not what I meant to do. Let's go to the student websites, just so that I'm pulling this up from a location other than those folders. I can log in as that student test account again. And again, I'm going to have to enter my, Going to have to enter my username and password. And when I go to OneDrive, my new document should be right there. And there it is, my new document. So, as this comes to a conclusion, I hope this explains ways that you are able to access your documents offline so that you do not need to be relying on saving documents and folders directly to your desktop. So if you have any questions, please tell your teachers, or you also are always welcome to email me why didn't I put my email address up here? And I hope you can see that. It is cmclean, at center.k12.mo.us. So please email me with any questions. Thanks, guys. Good luck.